Oh my gosh, it is so hot.
Someday you're gonna realize what you lost in me. No way you're gonna keep me insecure. When the sun comes up, but your lights go out, who's gonna figure it out?
Hey guys, so I just noticed something that I have to make you aware of. I recorded this video right after I took a shower the other day, and basically there is some white cream residue in my hair and a little bit in my ear, as you can see. That is due to the fact that I put in a leave-in conditioner in my hair, and I am sweating like a pig in this video, which meant that my hair did not properly dry. So I'm just letting y'all know that before the jokes come in and before y'all start thinking I'm nasty. Actually, I'm super clean in this video, so I'm really sorry about seeing that crazy residue in my hair, but it is what it is. Just letting you know. Thank you.
Hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to another episode of Lyrically Lydia, the show made for musicians by a musician, the show made for music lovers by a music lover. Basically, this week I wanted to take a moment to talk about insecurities, and mainly because, oh my gosh, also please, I know you've probably see the new setup going on here. Guys, I have to let you know, it's it's kind of a strange occurrence here in the Netherlands. It is so hot, and in that other room it's legitimately like an oven. I can't melted chocolate soup all over the place. I don't have time for that, so I'm in my living room. Yeah, so I just wanted to open up a little bit about some of my insecurities, and maybe in the comment section we can have a little chat. But yeah, I think it's good to talk about being vulnerable. I think especially since what I was talking about a little bit with Freddie Atlas a couple of weeks ago, that we are kind of, as musicians, expected to, and part of the magic of our job is creating the illusion that everything comes so easy to us. But in reality, there are a lot of insecurities that we also struggle with. So I'm gonna be vulnerable for you guys today and open up a little bit about mine. So I have 5 insecurities that I'm gonna let you guys know about, and then in the end I'm gonna let you know a little bit how I deal with them and what I think the best way is to kind of overcome those stressors. So number 1, and this is probably gonna be pretty weird for you guys since I'm on camera right now, but I'm really self-conscious about photo shoots and video shoots and anything in front of a camera. I hate it. I really hate it. Mainly because, one, to me, I feel that I look pretty different on some cameras. I have a very round baby cheek face kind of thing. So when I'm on cameras that somehow the lens can sometimes, and a lot of times some lenses distort your face, make an image look rounder or wider, I look really strange, and I feel that I don't look the way that I see myself in the mirror. When I see myself taking photos, or when I see other people's photos that they've taken of me, I feel that I never look the same. Also, when I have a photo shoot or something like that, oh my goodness, I'm so self-conscious. I'm always in my head, kind of like when somebody says, okay, just look natural. My natural looks like, so I just do my best to not look like a freak of nature, but I always end up looking crazy. And then you just see, other friends of mine, they're so beautiful, and then they're just, it's amazing that somebody's like, oh, I took candid pictures of us today, and I'm always the one that looks like, and they're always looking like, you know what I mean? They always look amazing, they always look great. That's super discouraging for me. So yeah, I'm really not good with photo shoots. I feel it also, since, I have a really not so defined face, that it just makes me look wide, flat, and a bit, I don't know. I just don't like it. So that's one of my insecurities. I actually, for this channel, found a camera that I was doing so much research on cameras that I could like with the kit lenses that I think could serve me, because I didn't want to spend a lot of extra money on buying equipment, but I still wanted really high quality, and I wanted to feel comfortable talking to you guys every week and everything. So I found this camera, which is the Sony Sony Alpha 5100, and I loved it because when I'm recording, I feel that I look the closest to what I feel I look like in real life on this camera. It doesn't seem to really distort my face in a crazy way. It doesn't seem to inflate me too much. I look like what I look like when I look in the mirror most of the time. Now, depending sometimes on how I place the camera, like now I've learned that I need to put it a little bit higher, because before I was putting it a little bit lower and it was giving me some, you know, but I have this insecurity, so just want to be transparent about that. It ain't, you know, it's a struggle, but I'm gonna get through it, honey. Another thing, more musical, I guess, is that, you know, when I have to learn new songs for, you know, a show or something, and I perform them for the first time, do you know how nervous I get? I don't know what happened. Guys, when I was in university, and I was learning so many things by memory all my life, because I'm a violinist, and I'm also trained by ear. I'm not trained reading music. So I could hear things and remember patterns, remember things so easily, remember finger crossings, remember everything off the top of my head. I hear it once and it was like, boom, I got it. I don't know what happened, guys. I started getting older. I guess life got more stressful. And now my head is just a jumble. So when I'm learning songs, which I used to be able to learn, I don't know, like 20 minutes, maybe less, 10 minutes, a song every 10 minutes. No, y'all, it's gonna take me days now, especially if I'm learning a repertoire of like 16 songs. Used to do, you know, bang it out in one day and maybe go over it again the second day. 2 days before the gig, I go to the gig and I'm like good to go. I can't play those games anymore, y'all. I am not that fresh anymore, okay? Now it's more like I need to prepare. Like I start like 2 weeks before, I start like a week before. I don't know what happened to me, but I think it's more like, I don't know why I got older and I just started getting anxious about my capability to remember. And then I started forgetting. It was a self-fulfilling prophecy. So now when I go on the stage, I won't show it that I'm nervous, because I'm really good at masking that type of a thing and masking those types of anxieties. But I'm always thinking like, oh, like rehearsing right before I go on. There's that part after the bridge, or the bridge part, always the bridge. Oh my goodness, I don't know why. I never remember the bridge of any song. You can ask some of the guys I play with in the Shakes band. You can ask some of my buddies, like they always know, oh Lord, here comes the bridge for Lydia. And I'm like, what? So sometimes I improvise. But yeah, guys, it's just like sometimes it's a real struggle-ition, okay? And that is a new word, struggle-ition. Number 3, I am, and this is a bit more serious, I'm super petrified of traveling by plane. Guys, traveling by plane by now for me, it is an integral part of my life, because I live in the Netherlands, but I'm traveling a lot to Italy, back and forth for work. And of course now it has stopped or slowed down. It's starting to pick back up again. But because of the virus especially, I wasn't able. But before that, and like last year in March, I had this really traumatic flight where we thought we were not gonna make it, okay? Even the pilot was like, we don't know. And so ever since then, I've been like petrified of taking flights. And it's actually a thing that a lot of people like seem to downplay. But it was a really traumatic event in my life. So I'm just not even down with taking the plane. I'm working on it. I'm like going to therapy. I'm gonna figure it out, because I need to also go home and see my mommy and not have her coming all the way over here just to see me every time. And I want to see my aunt. So I'm working it out, whatever. But y'all, it is a struggle. Strugglebus.com. Number 4. Which has been, okay, I've always kind of had this thing, because I told y'all I'm a violinist first, and when I was younger, I used to play violin at home, you know, practicing and everything every day. And my mom would be in the house, and I was so self-conscious to play around other people, or even in small groups of people. I hate intimate settings for performing. I don't like being able to look at people dead in the face. I much prefer big crowds of people. I don't have to look at you. I don't have to know what you're doing. I don't have to know what you're thinking. Yeah, I'm just really uncomfortable when people ask me in intimate groups, can you sing something for us? Or can you play something for us? Number one, don't ask me that unless you got this cash. Number two, I'm stressing out because I'm right in your face, and if you don't like something, which, I mean, you probably don't like everything. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, if you don't like something, I'm gonna see it right in your face, and that's gonna like mess up the rest of my performance. It won't, because I'm good at like, you know, I'm not one to hold on to that insecurity and like transmit it through my music or through my performance, but it will internally mess with me. And the same thing goes for now that we're in quarantine. I am working songwriting from home, and I am playing and writing string parts at home, and my husband is here. And that's okay, like, he doesn't really care, but I don't know, for me, because I'm a weirdo when I write music or when I do stuff, I'm just like really loud, and I'm probably not playing very nicely because I'm like literally, my process for writing stuff is like bang on things and do weird stuff until something cute comes out. So I'm not really focusing on doing something pretty at first. I'm focused on getting the idea out and experimenting, and then I put them into something beautifully harmonic or melodic, and then that's how I do it. So it's super weird to do that. I'll make all these noises, do my vocal exercises, in front of other people. That's weird. Don't enjoy it. Get out of my space. And then finally, I got number 5, y'all. And that is playing violin in general, yo. This one is nuts. And actually, I want to talk about it because I don't know, I know a lot of people that have similar experiences. This was kind of, I don't know how many years ago. I guess it was probably almost 10 years ago. Yeah, I just completely stopped playing violin. I played violin all my life since I was 3 years old. I love my instrument. His name is LYON, and I call him LYON because he has a beautiful lion's head on his scroll. Rude. And sorry, motorcycle. And he's from Lyon, France. So anyway, enough said about that. I don't know what happened. Something just broke in me. It was kind of, okay, so I told you guys that I learned to play mostly by ear. I can read music. It's just that my go-to to figure things out and get stuff done is my ear because it's so quick and intuitive to me. And for most of the things that I do, it serves 100% of the time as the best method possible for me. So, yeah, I don't know at what point, but it was just, I was taking these classes. I got thrown in, when I first came to Berkeley, in my auditions, I told them, I said, guys, I don't read music at this moment, but I'm very willing to learn because it's important. So for my education, I don't mind learning. It's totally fine for me. And they said, sure, that's awesome. They admitted me to the school and then gave me a scholarship, so I didn't assume it would be an issue. Then I had a class called Reading Lab, and then it was like this jazz. Sorry, I then had a class called Reading Lab, and then there was a class that was like more jazz. I mean, it was all jazz based, but it was like jazz reading lab. I don't know if you guys have ever read jazz. I don't know what kind of a musician you are, if you've been exposed to that, but for somebody who does not read music, first of all, I went to the class. We were each supposed to read 4 bars of a piece at a time, of a song at a time. So the professor would play the song first, then turn it off, and then she would say, okay, now we're gonna play it through 4 at a time, read everyone. Well, because my ear was super developed at that point, I would hear the song the first time and then play it didn't matter because I had memorized the tune. So one day this teacher was like, okay, I'm not gonna play it, because she was watching me, and I was wondering why she was watching me like that, because I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just like, oh yeah, whatever. I was following along, so I wasn't thinking about reading so much. I was just following along with the music and saying, oh, it must be there, and then I would just play it. But I guess she saw that my eyes weren't following the page when I was playing. And she stopped the class and she said, Lydia, I want you to turn the page, play this song, the first 4 bars. Well, I couldn't do it. And I said, I can't. And I was shaking, and the whole class was just staring at me. I said, I can't. And she said, what do you mean you can't? And I said, well, I can't read it. And she said, so what have you been doing in my class all this time? And I said, but I told you guys, I can't really read. So, and she was like, no, you're gonna try. You can read, because you cannot play. How could you play before if you couldn't read? So then I just started to play BS, basically. It was crazy. It sounded insane. I had no idea what that song sounded like. I had no idea what even key I was in. I didn't even know anything about it. I legitimately learned to read music at the school, which I was in the process of doing, but I was still confusing an A with a C on the staff. So basically the class, like, everybody's head was just down and they couldn't even look at me. And then the teacher was looking at me and she was pissed. The professor was pissed. And she said, you need to come to my office hours. I'm putting you in orchestra, all of these things. And I was like, okay, I just need to learn if I'm doing it wrong, because this is legitimately my first semester. I don't really know what to tell you. Like, you know, I have never read my entire life. I rely only on my ear, so even it's difficult for me to think. You know, when I hear something, I already know what's gonna happen. So I'm like, you know, having to unlearn some things to focus on this. I don't know, it just wasn't easy for me. And so basically I was super humiliated, and it kind of stuck with me because it was that I was super willing to learn, but I was being treated as if I wasn't. And I was very honest from the beginning about this thing. Anyway, long story short, I did the office hours, I did all this stuff, I learned how to read in the end, but the thing is, I don't know why, it just stuck with me for so long that sometimes I feel, as a violinist, I never felt really free to be as creative as I wanted to be, because there were all of these ideas about, you know, doing things in the classical way, or doing things in the jazz approach, or whatever. Yes, I know it's super important, but it was just that, like, I didn't want to be criticized for doing the best that I could, coming from like a really, like, you know, fiddler type of background type of thing. I don't know, it was just a lot for me. But yeah, I don't know, violin for me has always been a really difficult and touchy subject after I went to university. Now I've started busting it out again. I'm playing my own compositions, which I hope you'll hear very soon. I'm making a video for the song. It's kind of my debut of my violining, so I'm really excited for that. So anyway, all to say, these are my insecurities. This is kind of what I've been coping with. And I want to give you guys some ways to kind of handle and keep pushing through all of these insecurities that we have. With the photo shoots, this is how I cope with that. My first one was the photo shoots and the video shoots. Well, one, I started doing Lyrically Lydia also because I really wanted to become really comfortable speaking on camera and being in front of the camera and being okay with my face, being okay with my body, being okay with, you know, that part of my artistry, which is something that I can't ignore because it's something that I'm gonna have to do for the rest of my life. As long as I'm a musician, I have to be in front of cameras. So what did I do? I learned how to edit videos. I learned how to properly light myself. I'm still learning every single day. I took a bit of that control of that fear so that I felt that I was actually, you know, I'm very much a person that needs to be in control of what's happening to me. I know that's probably not the most healthy thing. That's why I'm in therapy. Ow! But at least in this way, I'm able to get things done. So yeah, I learned how to take my own pictures. Probably 90% of the pictures you see, whether or not my phone is being held or not, 90% of those pictures were taken by me. because I'm doing my best to make myself comfortable, learn how to pose, learn how to work with what I have, and appreciate and love what I have. It's super important. So I encourage you to do the same with whatever it is that you might have a fear of. As far as performing new songs, which was my second thing, performing new songs, as far as that goes, guys, excuse me, but all I'm saying is balls to the wall. That's how I deal with it when I'm like, yo, I might mess up. I'm already thinking like, girl, get your rhyme game up. Like if you know, mistakes happen. They don't have to happen all the time because, honey, you're a professional, get it together. But at the same time, when you learn new songs and you're worried about maybe tripping up one or two lines, don't worry about that. If it's a famous or popular song and you kind of remember the gist of it, don't worry about it. Think of another word that rhymes with what the, rhyme scheme you're intending to do is, and then just make up something. Honey, you are an instant rapper. You got this. Like, I believe in you, honey. I do it so many times when I have a fumble and people love it and they don't even really notice. So my third thing was traveling by plane. Guys, it's a work in progress. There are some things that to us become phobias or to us become traumas. I'd say the plane incident became a trauma. Now a trauma can be something big or can be something small. I would also say that the thing that happened with my violin, just kind of being traumatized in that class, and this is a very it seems a minor trauma, but it is a trauma nonetheless. And it can happen whether it's almost dying in a plane or it's, I don't know, fumbling your words on stage. There are triggers for everyone, and that is not to be underestimated in how powerful those things can be and how they can affect us. If you feel that it's something that's getting in the way of you best doing your job, do not be ashamed of it. You can go through a method of, sometimes exposure. For example, after that happened to me, I tried to get back on planes and stuff. It just made it worse. So if you have, for example, stage fright or something like that, and you just try to, every time you're like, I have stage fright, but this is ridiculous, and you try to just keep getting back on the stage and it's only causing you more anxiety, stop getting on the stage. Stop doing it. Maybe you can seek help. Maybe you can talk to a friend, a therapist, somebody, or you can sit with yourself and really reflect and do the work to figure out what is making me feel this way. And maybe step by step, in small ways, you start to integrate more performance into your life, or you start to integrate whatever that thing is into your life that's causing you the stress, or you take it to a professional if you really want to get through it and you're just not able to do it by yourself. Trust me, it's an amazing thing, and you can overcome whatever you put your mind to, as my aunt always says. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and I believe in you. Guys, basically, all I'm saying is, all of these fears that we have, it's okay to be vulnerable, it's okay to express these things, and it's okay to have a moment of weakness. I'm telling you guys all of my business. So, and it serves because we all have something. So when we see each other's successes, we're proud of each other because we know the hard road that we had to travel to get to that success. I hope you really enjoyed it, and I hope we had some good little chat. I'll let y'all know all of my business. So, yay. I hope you also enjoyed hearing a little bit more about me, your host, Lydia LYON. But, yeah, lots of love to you guys. Please continue to like, share, follow, subscribe, all of that, because it helps me so much. I just want to grow this channel as much as possible. If you have any suggestions of how I might improve it, please don't hesitate to let me know. I'm super receptive to criticism and feedback, as long as you ain't being a hater. Okay, bye.
Excuse-moi, je t'entends pas. Ouh, là, là, oh, je comprends.